It's the Fox Fantasy Sleepers of the Week.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Fox Fantasy Sleepers of the Week. My name's Lucas.
And I'm Justin.
And we're your Fox Fantasy Insiders. We've been here all NFL season long, bringing you guys some great daily fantasy football sleeper plays so you can win some big money on platforms like DraftKings and FanDuel.
That's right.
And Justin, we're already in week 8 already. We were talking about this before the show. Season's flying by. It's kind of crazy. You know,
So fast.
The rookies are starting to emerge, you know. So I think the back end of the season here, you're going to see a lot of rookies being selected as sleepers.
Yep.
And we got a couple rookies actually, sneak peek, a couple rookies as our sleepers for this week's episode. But before we get into our sleeper plays, let's talk a little bit about last week's.
Sure.
Week 7. We didn't have a video segment out last week.
Why don't you tell the people why?
You know, because I went to Denver, Colorado, and watched my Broncos beat on the Packers. Not really beat on them. It was an ugly win.
They won.
But what a great time. It was a fun time. Had vacation over there. So, but I'm back, and
we're back in the studio.
Yeah, we're here, and we're gonna provide some great daily fantasy sleeper plays.
That's right.
But as mentioned, let's talk about Week 7 here. I did pick a rookie last week. I went with Rashee Rice. Had a pretty good game, 17 points, caught 5 of 6 targets for 60 yards and a touchdown. And then my other sleeper, Justin, you know, we were both kind of high on Craig Reynolds, you know, running back for the Lions.
I know.
Big old 3.5 points. That game itself, the Lions just got smacked around by Lamar
Oh
and the
my
boys.
God, Lamar.
He's so good.
I think he's finally getting back into that groove of
I hope so.
I'm torching teams now.
Yeah, and we played against each other in our work league,
Yep.
and he had Lamar, so he...
I had Lamar, and who else did I have, Luke?
Jordan Addison.
My boy.
Yeah,
What'd I tell y'all?
They just smacked me around.
Yep.
But going back to Craig Reynolds, rushed 3 times only for 16 yards, but he also caught a lone target for 9 yards. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs, I was happy to see Craig Reynolds step aside and Jahmyr Gibbs actually get the workload that he deserves.
Yes.
Because I'm a Gibbs believer. I got my fair share of Gibbs stock in the fantasy football world. But, you know, I mean, Rashee Rice was a big boom, but not the running back play. How'd your picks do?
My picks did pretty good.
Yeah.
I just want to say Rashee Rice, I think he's going to slowly expanding into kind of that wide receiver one role.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes says Kelsey, but
he's not a wide receiver.
He's not a wide receiver.
I know he pretty
correct.
much is, but
for Patrick Mahomes, like, he's the number one guy. But in the wide receiver slot, Rashee Rice is slowly becoming that person.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of the season, he's going to take on that role completely.
Yep, and then it might be a second-round pick next year in fantasy drafts. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole offense is just nuts. But
yeah,
my picks from last week, we had my guy, Mr. Kareem Hunt.
You're a Kareem Hunt believer.
I don't know why. I like him a lot. He rushed 10 attempts for 31 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns.
Now remind me, this is the game where Jerome Ford ripped off that 60-yard touchdown run, but then
correct.
later in the game he got hurt. So Kareem Hunt going forward is a smash play if he's on your waivers.
Yeah, at least for the next 2 weeks. They say Jerome Ford's going to be...
Is it a high ankle sprain?
Out or hurt for at least minimum 2 weeks. So Kareem Hunt had 15.1 fantasy points, and my other guy, Marquise Brown.
Hollywood,
kind of the panic player of that. I decided in like week 2 or 3.
Yeah.
He caught 3 of 7 targets for 49 yards. The targets are there. The targets will always be there. Just in this week, he just didn't do so high. He just didn't catch them all. So he ended with 7.9 points.
That's better than Craig Reynolds.
Yeah.
And Justin, you're on a hot streak here, man.
Bring up the tally.
Bring up the tally.
What is this? Week 3?
What did you just win by? Like 5 points? Barely. He's been barely beating me every week.
We taking dubs.
Yeah.
Let me just mark my name here.
He's on a 3-week hot streak here.
Do you guys remember when I was?
It was 4-0.
When I was 0-4. We're on that come up, baby.
I'm trying, everyone. I'm trying, but hopefully this week I can get the ball back rolling here.
I ain't allowing it.
Otherwise, Justin's going for the tie here. Do you want to kick it off with the first fantasy football sleeper for Week 8? Who do you
Sure,
got?
I can do that.
Mr. Hotshot.
I am going with the quarterback who I have mixed feelings on.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I think I do too.
It is Desmond Ridder for the Falcons, and they are facing the Titans. He's going for 5,100 on DraftKings and 6,700 on FanDuel. You know, part of me wants to believe, you know, is Ridder heating up? You know, his last 3 games, he has thrown for over 250 yards with at least some sort of touchdown, whether it be rushing himself or passing it, obviously. But now he faces the Titans, who are allowing more than 240 yards a game. So I see him going over that number again. And he's a dual threat quarterback, right?
Got legs.
Yeah, he seems to be getting more comfortable in the pocket with passing. But don't forget, he has the legs to get out of there and get that first down when necessary. He is inexpensive. I think we've seen him blow up enough to
Throw him in there. I mean, this is a good sleeper player.
throw him out on a flyer because he has the potential to go and get you 30 points.
Yeah. Dude, I did not know they played the Titans, which makes me like this pick a lot more. The Titans
Are terrible.
they're selling right now. They just traded their star safety to the Eagles like last week.
Yeah.
So that's just another bump for Desmond Ridder.
I just hope Hopkins gets out of there.
Yeah, Hopkins is going to retire soon, I think.
Just that talent is just
Yeah, wasted.
wasted. But that's my pick for week 1. If you need a quarterback that has the upside of 30 points, but he'll get you at minimum double digits, this is the guy to go get.
So I'm going to bring this up, and I guess playing devil's advocate on this play, I guess you can be scared of this pick just because if they get too big of a lead, they're just going to run the ball with their 2 running backs. Because the Titans, I don't see them competing that much.
No.
I don't know. Will Levis is probably going to be starting, which the Falcons' defense, start them up if you have them, that's for sure.
Falcons' defense is good this year. I mean,
Start 'em up.
they have studs on that side of the ball, but
I think it's a fun play.
it is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely it's risk to reward ratio.
Dude, that's what we're here for, though. We're providing sleepers. We're not providing obvious, fantasy football plays. So,
Yeah,
which brings me into my next pick.
Yeah.
It's a quarterback as well.
Okay.
And you may need some iron underpants for this one because I'm going with Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett. Pickett showed improvement with Deontay Johnson back from IR, and although it didn't turn into fantasy gold, there's still a belief that a correction is in store for him this week. He's got a favorable matchup against a Jacksonville defense that allows the 6th most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. So I guess that's the big highlight here. Last week, Derek Carr passed over 300 yards on the Jags. So maybe Pickett can achieve similar success. I don't know, fill him in there with some leftover cash, see what he can do.
Yeah.
But it's a sleeper for sure.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's a streaming quarterback.
that's iron pants right there.
Yeah,
That is
it's kind of gross.
I know
But-
they were my dark horse going into this, and hey, they still got a winning record. It's still possible.
Deontay Johnson being back from IR definitely
Huge.
gives him a little bit of a bump, but
I think the whole problem with this offense is their offensive coordinator,
yeah, I
Mr.
think so too.
Matt Canada.
Yep.
Mr. Canada, if you're watching this, you just need to retire. I mean,
Just get out.
you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I could come in there and call better plays.
Yeah.
But I like the
Pickens, he's got the weapons. He's got Jalen Warren to throw to in the flats. He had a touchdown this week. Come on, Pickett.
The Steelers should be a lot better than what they are. They have the offensive weapons. They have a mean defense.
Yeah. I think they're doing pretty good, though,
I mean,
too.
they're-
They got
yeah.
enough wins. I think they got
Yeah.
4 wins. So,
Yeah, I think they're 4-3 or
yeah.
something
Yep.
like that. 4-3.
4-2, actually.
4-2,
Yeah.
okay.
So let's see what the Steelers can do against the Jags. Who do you got for your second pick?
Yeah, my second pick, Luke, I'm going with another rookie receiver. We're going with Josh Downs
I like
from the
it.
Colts, who is at home against the Saints. He's going for 4,800 on DraftKings and 6,100 on FanDuel. In Minshew Magic, we trust, ladies and gentlemen.
I like it.
Minshew seems to be rolling as a starting quarterback for this team. He is. He has a share of fumbles, but he gets the job done. He threw for, let's see, last week it was like 26 attempts or something like that, but the week before he had 55 passing attempts. So the man loves to pass the ball, and Josh Downs seems to be one of his go-to guys when out on the field. when you got Pittman being covered and studs like Jonathan Taylor and
Zach
Zach Moss, you know.
So we were calling him a stud. No, I think that's a great pick. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, these rookies, they're really elevating towards the middle and end of the season. I think Josh Downs, super explosive. You know, they drafted him pretty high, actually. And I think, you know, he's getting targets.
Yeah, he's been averaging 7 targets a game,
Yeah.
you know, which makes him the perfect sleeper pick. Because when you're picking these sleepers, you always want to look at how many targets.
Volume.
It doesn't really matter, you know, about their big plays when they're getting only 3 targets a game.
Right. That's just very boom
It's
bust.
just, it's you're teetering more on the bust side of things.
Yeah. We
than
want
you
the
are
opportunity.
with someone who's averaging 7 targets like this. So yeah, I think this is a great play along with Ritter. But yeah, that's my second guy.
I like it.
Luke, who you got for your second pick?
All right, so this is a little bit fun pick. Again, I'm actually going back to someone who I had last week. We mentioned him beginning of the show, Rashee Rice. If you didn't play him last week, now's your chance. Plug him in. Play him against my Broncos. Slowly but steadily, he is cementing his role as the wide receiver 1, as Justin said, complementing Travis Kelce. So he is stepping up. With the highest yards per game average and the most receptions among wide receivers, Rice has become a reliable asset. The explosive rookie has maintained strong PPR points average over 13.8, showing major consistency. In this matchup against my struggling Broncos defense, Rice and Mahomes are set to inflict some damage here, making him a standout option for fantasy managers. Guys, he's been doing pretty well the last few weeks. If you didn't plug him in, plug him in this week. He's going for 5,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's
he's only like 49% rostered on ESPN platforms. So even in redrafts, if he's out there, you need to pick him up.
Yeah, you do.
This guy could be a league winner. I'm just saying it. And we're probably not going to be talking about him anytime soon because his stock is just going to keep on going up if he keeps performing the way he is.
So we're not going to be able to select him anymore.
Exactly.
But, I love the pick. I mean, Mahomes needed another guy outside of Kelce. I mean, he has Pacheco, but, you know, you can't throw to him every single down.
No.
He's coming out of the backfield. I love the pick a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's our sleepers for week 8. You know, if you guys want to follow us on X, FF Insiders 2548, you guys can trash on our picks or you can ask them some start and swim questions, stuff like that. Justin, should we talk about our week 8 matchup of the week? Who are you most excited for?
I already know who I'm going.
I know who I'm going with too.
I'm going with the Viking Packers.
Absolutely, and this is some breaking news here. Justin and I will be at the Vikings.
We'll be at the game, baby.
So if you see us, say hi. We'll sign autographs.
We'll sign out whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll take some pictures.
Yeah, tell us about your wins that we have helped with or the losses. If you want to, you know, talk crap to us at the thing, or you know.
Yeah, we'll be at the game. Justin will be in a Vikings jersey. I'll be in a Broncos jersey.
Yeah, we're the only ones that you're going to see there, you know. I mean, there'll be Vikings fans, but.
Yeah. So catch us there at the game, and also catch that game on Fox 2548.
Right.
It's going to be a noon game, so right away, a nice divisional matchup here. In Lambeau, it's supposed to rain.
To teams that are not like, you know, both teams are not very dominant at all.
Yeah.
So it could be anyone's game. I think it's going to be a very fun game, a good game. So
I do too.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. But all right, guys. Well, there's our episode for week 8. Hopefully, you guys can win some money, and we'll see you in week 9 for some more sleeper picks.
Win big money with the Fox Fantasy Insiders.